that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact check this, apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it. But if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
Mr. Musk, can you talk a little bit about how closely you're working with agency heads as you're directing these cuts? Do they have how much input do agency heads have when you're making these decisions?
Yeah, we work closely with the agency heads, yeah, so there are sort of checks in place. So it's not just us just going in and doing things willy-nilly. It's in partnership with the agency heads, and I check frequently with the president to make sure that this is what the president wants to have happen. So we talk almost every day, and I double check things to make sure, is this something?
See, here's the thing, right? The majority of Americans really don't understand aid, right? And on top of that, if you really think that these guys are telling you the truth or that they are in your best interest, you are terribly lost. Now, here's the thing. Here's how aid works, okay? The United States uses aid to bargain, negotiate, and extort other countries. It's not just, oh, here's $50 million in condoms. You all need to wrap it up. Hey, condoms on the house, right? It doesn't work like that. Now, if they sent $50 million in condoms to Mozambique, there was something that they wanted from Mozambique. For example, they may have a rare earth mineral that is produced over there, and they want dibs on that, right? So they probably said, okay, we'll give y'all condoms, we'll give you all, guns, whatever. The United States is like the mafia. They're not just giving you stuff just out of the kindness of their heart. There's something that they want. And they aren't telling that to the American people. Number one, it could be classified. And number two, they know that most Americans are just going to run with what they hear and not understand these systems, these processes, and, really and read up on how this stuff actually works. Now, here's the thing. What they're doing is they are alienating and building a wall around the United States. And what's going to happen is a lot of stuff is going to be more expensive for Americans because of this. So, and the reason why is since the United States is just pulling this money out, right, and saying, hey, we're not giving y'all nothing anymore. This is going to set up China and other world powers like Russia to step in and say, hey, you see how they just rolled out on you just like that? Well, we'll give you double. And if you were doing 1 for 1, we'll give you 2 for 1. There's nothing. We got you. Because they want to get access to those minerals, right? So now China, Russia, these other world powers are now going to be the middleman. Now we're going to have to buy from them at the price that they set this stuff at. It's almost like how we have an agreement with Saudi Arabia. If you sell your oil in United States dollars, we'll give you weapons. It's the same thing. They're not just sending stuff to these countries, just because they're really nice people. That's not what's going on. And most people think that's what's going on, but that's not what's going on. Hey, leader of Mozambique, I saw you at United Nations getting buddy with what's his name over there from China. Don't forget who had your back. I sent you some AK-47s. Don't double cross me, right? So it's stuff like that. That's how they're able to control other countries. Hey, we'll send you all this. Let us build a military base in your country so we can be close to one of our ops. A lot of people really don't understand this. Anybody that's in the streets, it's almost like if the plug fronts you 10 kilos, right? They're going to one day they're going to say, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Remember that time I gave you 10 kilos up front and I told you pay me back in a month? Well, you owe me one. I need you to do this for me, right? It's almost like how the mafia was ran back in the day in New York. Hey, you got to do business with us if you want protection. And if you don't do business with us, then, your store is going to get robbed every night or whatever, right? It's the same thing. So that's the reason why you have these agencies that are just sending money to these other countries or sending, medical supplies. It's because they want something. It's not because they care. They don't care. They like, look, you got plutonium over there. We need that because we need to build these weapons, right? And then they use private industry to go over there and extract the plutonium. And they use private industry to actually send the stuff over there, right? So these are things that people don't understand, but they know that people don't understand this stuff. So they'll just say, hey, we sent 50 million in condoms over there. That sounds crazy, don't it? And everybody's like, oh my God, they sent 50 million in condoms. They wasting our money. When in reality, that's not what's going on. Now, they may have sent 50 million in condoms, but they got something back that they needed or that they wanted. And that's where most people get the game twisted. And here's the thing, we all, we've loved Donald Trump since back in the day. We done had hip hop songs about him. He was in the music videos. He was a polarizing figure. Same thing with Elon Musk. Everybody loves, that he's this great inventor. But these guys, I'm telling you, are self-centered. What they are doing, and again, I don't get involved in left, right, Democrat, Republican, independent. I don't care about any of that stuff. But what I'm saying is they're playing in your face. You think that they are about to help you out and it's going to help, make your life better. And, and some of the things they're doing may be good. But the overall picture is robbing most people, especially people that are considered, on the middle or lower class of society, are going to be robbed. Okay. Once we pull out from all these other countries, whether we leave our military bases or whether we, stop negotiating or stop bargaining or stop extorting these other countries, the world powers are going to come in. They're going to get access to what we used to have access to. And now they are going to be the big dogs because now they will be in control of the commerce. They will be in control of these other countries. And it'll make America look less sexy. In addition to that, we are no longer the middleman. Now we're the end buyer, the end user. So now we got to pay whatever price they tell us for this, for whatever it is that we need from these other countries. And this is what goes over most people's heads because the headline $50 million worth of condoms sounds 10 times better. It sounds 10 times better to be able to get the support of their supporters, which they know really aren't that smart. Okay. Most people aren't that smart. And I'm not saying Kamala Harris would have been any better, right? I'm not saying that. But all politicians lie. But what they're doing is probably the biggest out of all of them. And I guess maybe because I understand how aid works and how it's used how the United States has used this to pretty much take over the world. But now the big dogs is going to be China. It's going to be Russia. It's going to be these other countries. And what they're doing is they are sacrificing the American people for whatever agenda that they have. Because this is all about what they call globalization, right? I talked about this intelligence report plenty of times. It said that this was going to happen before it happened. And this report came out during COVID that this was going to happen. It's about these billionaires taking over the world in the way that they see it. But it will be at your expense. They're sacrificing you to do so. If you really think these folks care about anybody, you have people that voted for these guys that lost their job instantly. Some of these government agencies, Department of Education, USAID, Veteran Affairs, they fired a whole bunch of people over there. People that voted for these guys and lost their job. All because people didn't really have an understanding of what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that Kamala Harris would have been better, but when it comes to billionaires, it's about growing their empires. And no matter how you look at it, people have always been sacrificed to grow billionaires' empires. And I'm not talking about, Illuminati sacrifices and all that weird stuff. I'm talking about in terms of, like, if we look at AI, they are using humans to build AIs just to get rid of the humans that built the AI. That's a sacrifice. They're sacrificing you. You're getting your little bit of temporary money to build something that is going to take your job in the end once you're finished. That's an example of what they're doing. So I digress. Most people will disagree with me, but most aren't really educated on how aid works. I actually learned about this when I was in college. You know, we did a government contract in college where the United States government was giving, I forgot what country it was, some bulletproof vests. So we worked on a contract for that. And all in all, they were giving them the bulletproof vest because they were getting something in return, something that we needed. So let's just say, for example, if there's a rare metal in, cell phones that we need, they'll do an exchange like that for Apple and for, some of these other companies to get access to this metal and turn around and sell it to us. Well, now if China's the middleman, well, now we got to buy it from China. And then that could drive the cost up of these products for us, if that makes sense. Let's get this money either way.